Okay, so this is a complete set, no? We have the name of our controller is employees, and the ASP action is index. Diba? Where did we get this? From the name, function name in our controller. We'll say employee management. Do you follow? Okay. So right away, this requires a login. So for example, if I log in as a plain user, so okay, this requires a login. No? Okay. So hindi pwede diyan, no? Dito to sa employee management. No? So lagyan natin siya ngayon ng authorize, okay? Do you follow? What I'd like to do, however, is a limited authorize, no? Okay? Dito sa ating employee controller, we'll do an authorize, no? In index. Nasaan si index? So ayan, may authorize na, anyway. So hindi na ito pwede sa hindi authorized, no? What I'd like to do, however, is people with plain users can do index, no? They can also do details. But the edit, no? Gusto ko lagyan ng roles, no? Roles equals administrator and secretary. Okay? Do you follow? So only those with administration and are authorized. Do you follow? So we have the create also and the edit. Lagyan natin ng authorize. So limited dito, no? People with plain users can view, no? But they cannot edit and delete. Okay, this is the edit. Okay, this is the delete. So babaguhin natin yung authorize dito. Okay, this is the delete post. We don't have to do that there. Okay, so let us create an employee using a plain user. Okay, do you follow? So kailangan na nating mag-log out, no? Na login as a plain user. You have the admin and then we have employee management. Yes, we can display, but if you create, you are given access denied. Okay. Where do we get this, no? Saan natin makita yung web page na yan? Okay. I think it's in, wala siya dito sa not found, no? I think it's in the identity pages, no? Account. Access denied. Ito. Do you follow? So ito yung access denied, no? Do you follow? Okay. So maglagay siya ng title, access denied. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions? No? So ganito. So let us now try to log in as administrator. Okay. We log in as the administrator. Now the good thing about this, it is already complete. Pero you can improve this kasi I've seen a website or YouTube site which converts the edit into details and edit details and delete into bootstrap modal. No, I'll post that. No. So we can create a new employee. So for example, if you type a middle name, okay, and you create. So the errors will occur. No, itong mga decorations, the decorations we had, no. our ano. Okay? If you don't take note, these are taken from the decorations in our model. No? So you say, uh, you create. So now we have one ano. Okay? Do you follow? If you look at the details, it's like that. Now let's log out as a and log in as a plain user. Okay? So dito tayo sa admin, employee management. If you click create, your access denied, no? Okay? If you create edit, that's also access denied, but you can have details. Okay? Access denied ang edit, no? Back to list. Do you follow? Do you follow everyone? No? Okay? Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. Uh, I think we have time to discuss, no? How to add roles, no? Or how to edit the role management. Okay? Anyway, let me create a blank, ano, that has role management. We will discuss role management. Okay, kasi meron pa tayong time eh. We can stop until 3 o'clock. Okay? Let me just copy my controller for uh, roles controller. Ito lang pinaka-importante dito eh, yung roles controller. Okay? Now, I'll discuss to you how the role management, no? I'll show you how the role management is being handled, no? Medyo, it's a little different. It looks like the old, ano, but it's a little different because we are going to use an existing database table, no? That is not part of our migration. Okay, do you follow? And then we have the roles, no? Okay, meron tayong role controller. What do we need to add next? Okay. We need to have the view models. Okay, di-discuss lang muna natin the listing of the roles. I have to show you, you how these things are done, no? Ang mga ano, they're almost the same. I think we can create a controller, no, for this. If we create a view model, do you follow? We'll try to do that, no? So ang ating role controller, where's that? So pwede na tayong gumawa ng ano nito. Ang importante lang naman dito is yung view model. Okay? So anyway, let me create a new project, no? Which will have a role demo, no? Okay. ASP.NET for props. Role demo. Let's create a new project called demo. I'm going to show you a source code that will be used to add and edit roles to the user. Okay? I think that's useful, no? So that we'll be able to finish this week. Today is Thursday, right? Tuesday. No? So I'll create a new MVC model and then click next. And then I'll look for my desired folder, which is this. I'll call this role demo. Okay. Uh, what's the no? Yes, that's role demo. No? Then we'll click next. The .NET version is .NET 5, no? That's the current. The authentication type, you always have to use individual accounts, no? Then you click this so that you don't have to refresh the page, no? When you run, and then we click create. Okay. So Visual Studio creates the project for us. Okay. And then what we do next is to assign our database, no? It's the the very first thing to do. The database is role them. Okay. Okay. Then we build. Yeah, it's important that we build. Sometimes if you don't build, there will be a build error the first time you migrate. Okay, that's what happened to us last meeting. Then I'll go to view, then proceed to open the other windows, and then package management console. There's already if you look at the data, no, migrations, there's already an existing migration. That's for the identity core. So we'll just say update database. Okay. What it does basically is to create the database and build the necessary tables for users. Okay. So if you look at our Visual Studio, you refresh databases, we now have role demo. No? And if you look at the tables, we now have the basic tables. We don't have any users, roles, and so on and so forth. No? Okay, what I'm going to do is to create the rules. No? I'm going to write a program that will create the rules. Okay. So anyway, let's go back to our Visual Studio. Ito. And then the next thing to do, by the way, is add the scaffolded items. No? Add, okay, new scaffolded item from identity. Okay, yung galing sa identity, you can check them all if you like, so that you can get or edit the pages for login and log out. No? If you don't like them, no, you can edit them according to your own liking. No? You can design them, no, redesign them from scratch. You can usually you can just check this all of this. No, is there no? Then we check the uh okay, the context data para makita natin lahat pati yung account manage kasi nandito yung account manage o index. Do you follow? Index of the account manage. We click add. Okay. Do you follow everyone? This is recorded na no. We'll have a third session anyway today no. Para malaki yung matapos natin. And then by tomorrow, we'll have very few topics to consider. No? Maybe we're going to add modals and jQueries, no? How to insert jQuery calls to jQuery items. Okay. So right away after creating our database, we add the scaffolded items for the identity framework. What this does is include all the pages, no? So if you look at the areas no under identity, this includes all the pages, no? So nandito pati yung manage that index. Okay, di follow ito. Ito yung maghingi ng mga username input number. Okay? So that if you run this, for example, no, we now have a database, so we can run this. Okay, here it is na. So we register Q1, user 1. Dapat naka-email. Okay. And we register another user, admin. Nasira na itong akong keyboard, no? Kaya mali-mali yung password. But anyway, we'll have to change that somehow, no? Sometime. Karoon na tayo. Let me login as admin again. Okay na ba? Okay na siya, no? Now, this is the admin, no? Ito yung manage your account. Okay? Ito yung manage your account. If you look at the database, this is the, ano, manage your account. Manage that index. You follow, it asks for the user, the input, the phone number, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, ito yun. And many others, no? Anyway, what I'd like to do is we'll add the ano, let's add the navigation bar first. No? I-add natin yung navigation bar in our ano for admin. Let me pull up my code. I have a code. Wala akong code, we'll open it from our other project. No? Kagagamit lang natin kanina for forms with employees. Kupihin ko yung login parcel. Okay? Let me copy the login parcel here. Kasi ang ilalagay ko lang naman is yung drop down menu. Okay? Okay? Ito. I'm going to add this. Login parcel. Okay. It's in views, shared, login parcel. Okay. So dito sa naka is signed in user, dito natin siya idadagdag. Okay. Count, manage, and log out. Yes. Huwag muna natin itong lagyan, no? Role management. So we are going to have isang item lang muna. So what it does is add the admin drop down menu. Okay. So nandito na siya, no? We log out because we previously logged in. Admin at r.com. A.com kasi baka yun yung mali ko kanina, no? So now we have this. Okay? If you log out, mawala siya. Okay? What will we do is create a role management. First is we have to create a model. But the bad thing about this is we cannot create the role model like the way we create a plain model. Why? Because it already has an existing table. If you look at our role demo, we already have a table for .NET roles. If you're going to create a model for this will be a duplication. Okay? Do you follow? So what we're going to do is create a view model. What's the difference between a model and a view model? A view model is not migrated into a table. It's just in memory. So to do that, we have to create a new folder called view models. We'll have to close this and then we create a new folder. We'll name this as view models. No? Do you follow? Now, to create this view model, we need to create a model for this. No? I-create natin siya dito. So, we should have ID and name. We are not required these two. We are only required ID and name. Okay? Do you follow? Kasi ito yung hingin natin from the user. Okay? Okay? So, what we are going to do is we'll create a controller, no? And then, uh, first create a model and create a controller from it. Okay? Let's create a model. Let's call this a role model. No? Add new class for this roles. We'll call this roles view. Okay. Mas maganda kung merong view model. Kasi kung roles model lang, we might confuse it with the term model. Okay? So we now have this. Now, this is an ordinary, ano? This is an ordinary, okay? Okay. This is just an ordinary model, no? Do you follow? But this, we are not going to include it in our migration. Okay. So what are the parts of this model? Okay. First, we have an ID. We don't have to use key because this is just memory, no? Prop tab int ID. And if you look at our database, we have we are going to create a model for ASP.NET roles, no? So if you design, you have name, okay? Name. So you will also have our name, okay? So let's make the, no, capital natin ito. And then we have prop tab public string name. Yun lang ang kailangan natin. Do you follow? Now, let's create the classes. I hope we can create it right away, no? Let's create now the controller for this model. Okay. So in controllers, roles model and roles view model. So we will call the controllers roles model, no? View model ito eh. So hindi lang model. So we are going to add controller, okay, with views and entity framework. Okay. We're going to add. I hope we can see our model class, no? Do we have roles view model? Yes. No? Roles view model, we have it here. Okay. We don't need a DB context. Okay. Because it's just a roles view model, and then our views, no, in shared, we have the layout HTML dito siya para it will be added. Bakit ayaw niya? Pagka kailangan talaga natin yung ano, we really have to add a DB context anyway. Let's just add it. No? Ayaw niya eh. Do you follow? Okay. So let's look at our views. Okay. We have roles view models, no? And then we look at our controller. We have our roles view models controller. Okay. Meron tayong controller nito. Let's look at the controller. The name of the controller is roles view models controller. So matatanggalin natin yung ano. Okay. Later na. And we have an index. Okay. We'll have to change the index a little, no? Okay. And then we'll do something called in the control in the in this ano in the this is application DB context. We are not going to use the application DB context here. Do you follow? So, we'll remove this. Okay? Hindi natin gagamitin ang application. Ilagay lang natin yan because we cannot create a controller. Do you follow? But we are going to use the role manager. Okay? The role manager for to the role manager portion. Okay? What we are going to do is alter our constructor. No? Okay? In our constructor, we are going to pass not an application DB context, but we are going to pass a role manager, which is part of the identity framework. Okay? Do you follow? This type of a parameter passing is called dependency injection. I'm going to explain in a short while what dependency injection is. No? So, ganito yan. Role manager. Okay? Identity role mgr. GR. Okay, and then we'll remove this for the moment, and then to remove this quickly, we just show potential fixes. Okay, so mawala na. We follow, and then we go here. Control tab. I think that's a shortcut. Control period. Yes. You just click this. Click enter. So ilalagyan niya dito. What it's going to do is create a private member. Rather, a member. Now, we'll have to change this to private. It doesn't matter whether it's, and let's call this role manager with small letter. Kasi yung capital letter, this is a type, no? And then we'll say this, that role manager is equal to RMGR. Okay, so we are passing RMGR. What is dependency injection? Ito. Do you follow? Okay. Dependency injection is a method of passing parameters to a function. Okay? But the actual parameter, when is the actual parameter passed? During runtime, when you call the function, right? That's our ordinary notion. But in this case, no, the parameter is passed during design time or during the time that we are coding this, no, such that any call to the function roles view models controller, if this function is called, even if it's passed without a parameter, no, this will be injected in every call, no. Do you follow? So in every succeeding call during actual runtime, this will be inserted as a parameter even if the programmer did not specify explicitly. So kahit walang explicit na, no, i-inject ito during runtime. So by default, during runtime, this function will always have this okay, identity role. Okay, this is taken from the role manager portion and the type is identity role. Okay, so dependency injection ito. Do you follow? So which means it's injected during the time that you are coding the function. It's not injected during runtime. Do you follow? Okay. 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 And then we'll have our index. Yung ating index, what will we return in our index? Ito, hindi na ito, no? Because we are going to return, okay, role manager that roles, no? This that role manager that roles. Okay? Di follow? May error pa ba tayo sa iba? Yes. Itong mga error natin sa iba, sa mga details, we'll just remove this for the moment. I-ano na lang muna natin, i-remarks. How do we remark this as a whole? Is there a way to, yeah, pwede ganito, no? Remarks na lang natin as a whole. Ang index lang muna ang ititira natin, no? Let's remove this first. Okay, let's remove this first. Para yung index lang muna. And we'll look at the index view. Okay. Let's look at the index view. Okay, so ito ang gagamitin niya. Okay, let's run this, okay? Roles view models. Roles view models. Wala tayong error. Fortunately, did we have an error? Wala. So, yeah. Hali yung pagka-name natin medyo mahaba, no? Roles view models slash index. Hindi yata models. So let's look at the name. Maybe model. Okay, let's look at the controller first. Roles view models. Index. Let's copy this. Dapat roles lang. No? Ang pangalan ng ating ano. Ang sabi niya? Is attempting, yeah. Maybe there's something wrong with our ano, startup. No? Startup ito. Okay. Let's look at our startup. Kasi in the startup, we have to include the roles dito, no? Kailangan idagdag natin during startup. No? Add roles. Add role manager, I think. Identity. Ano ba ito? Okay. We check that, no? No, dapat walang semicolon. Okay? So, dinagdag niya yung identity context and then the role manager. Let's run that again. So may kailangan gawin. Medyo ano, no? Medyo detailed. You really have to do that. Roles, view, models, slash index. Okay, finally, we got it. No? May error ba tayo dito? No role type was specified. Add roles. Okay. We didn't have an add role yet. Kasi doon sa ating ano, you have to remove the, okay? Naghanap siya ng add roles. Okay? Let's stop this for the moment. Naghanap siya ng add roles. Maybe because in our ano, in our view, in our index view, we have create. So we don't have a create action. So tanggalin muna natin ito. Okay? Kasi meron tayong create dun sa ano. No? And then, do we have an edit? Tanggalin muna natin to. Okay? Run this again. Or let me look at my code na lang, no? My other code. Let me look at my other code first. Ito. I'm the wrong. Open. It's running, so we have to close this. File open. Startup, no? I may have the wrong startup. Oh. Add roles, no? Hindi siya add role manager, but add roles. Okay? I'm just going to copy that. Strong. Okay? Sometimes, no? It's very you just have to, let me just run this, no? And then if it runs, we'll continue this with this next meeting. Okay? Anong sinabi niya? May error pa tayo. Invalid. The model item passed in the data is of type internal. Okay? ASP.NET Core identity. But this requires a model of item type roles view model. Okay? So, which part is that? This must be already in the, in the index, no? The model item passed into the is DB set. DB set siya, identity role. Okay? But this data model, view model, okay? It requires a view model. Let's find out where it is, no? It's probably in the index, no? Roles view model ang ginamit dito. They follow, this is correct. And let's look at the HTML index. So, kailangan natin dito gumamit ng role demo view models. Okay? Dapat hindi niya gagamitin ng okay. Dapat hindi siya gagamit ng identity core. Nung DB context. Why did it use DB context? Okay. Kamali yung aking view result. Mali ito, no? It should be a view result type. This is wrong. Kasi yung task na yun, okay, view result. Yung task na yun requires requires a DB context, no? Okay? Hindi, no? It requires an internal data set, oh. Okay? Okay? Let's look at index. Pwede kasi natin itong baguhin. Okay? We'll say Microsoft identity model dot. Let me check my ano no. Let me check my other code for this. Kasi pwede tayong gumamit ng ano. This is the one. So, yung mga konting mali, no? Which we have to do now in my index. Ito, the model we are going to use. Okay. Para hindi siya expect doon. Okay. So, in the index, okay, copy that. Roles. Anyway, if I'm not aware of time, no? Models, index. Oh, yan. It's okay now, no? We now have our new role. Ang problema lang natin itong create. Okay? Wala pa tayo